Well, spring is almost here. I used to, at the turn of a season, go out, spend a ton of money updating my wardrobe, buying new decorations for my home. Since simplifying and finding a more minimal lifestyle, I don't do that anymore, but I still love to embrace and enjoy the seasons. Today, I'm gonna tell you how I do that a little bit more simply and intentionally. I have so much more time to read now that I have decluttered my home. I just don't spend as much time cleaning. This is a stunning book that really helps you embrace and enjoy the seasons with different crafts and different food. This is Gather at Home by Monica Hibbs. This is such an inspiring book. I love that she takes you through different holidays that occur in different seasons. And her crafts are so cute, really fun, especially too if you like to host. So this is a book that I got off of Amazon. I will have this linked below. This is a movie. Do you remember the 1990s movie that came out, The Secret Garden? I grew up watching it, but I've never actually read the book. So I am loving this so far. Very, very simple, sweet read. But let me know what you've been reading lately, because I've been into it, and I have a feeling I'm gonna finish this pretty quickly, and I'd be excited to move on to one of your favorites. I am always reading either a book on minimalism, a book on organizing, simplifying in some way. This is The More of Less by Joshua Becker. This is not his newest book, but it is a very, very good one. He's written several books by now, and I just love his approach. It's very straightforward, easy to follow, and he gives a lot of data and statistics around why you should let your clutter go. So I'm really enjoying this. He really focuses on embracing the life that you want to live and how you can do that by getting rid of your stuff. Anyway, I don't need to say much more. That book is awesome. Another thing that I really love to do in the spring is swap out my scents. I still burn fall scents. I burn fall scents all year. I love the smell of like baked goods in my home, so I will burn them year round. But if I want something fresh, I love the Mint Mrs. Meyer room spray. This is seasonal. You can only get it in the springtime, and this one is so clean. It's actually a little bit more of a warm scent, but it is very cozy and very spring appropriate. So these I get at Target. Sometimes I get these online. I recently mentioned to you guys that I switched out my mop. I used to have just a Swiffer. You had to constantly change the pads and the filter. It was very expensive to have this kind of mop. So I got a steam mop. The pads are reusable, and one way that I really like to freshen up when I'm mopping is by putting a couple drops of essential oil. This one is grapefruit. I just put it directly on the mop pad. Then when it heats up, it smells amazing. That was one thing I loved about the Swiffer, is that it smelled really fresh, but it was artificial. So this is just 1,000 times better in so many different ways, but don't feel like you have to compromise on scent by getting a steam mop. I have the Shark, and I will link mine below. So far, I have been loving it. I've had it for a couple months. I have never been good at keeping even simple windowsill like herbs alive, just general kitchen herbs. I've been terrible. Like, I do not have a green thumb at all, but I have been able to keep both rosemary and basil alive in my kitchen for several weeks. There is a recipe that I have been absolutely obsessed with. It uses one of my other favorites. Let me grab it. This is a cast iron skillet. I got this for Christmas, so I've spent a little bit of time with it. It is incredible for making bread. At first, I thought you could only use it for sourdough. I'm not good at keeping my sourdough starter alive either. I don't know why I can't keep things in the kitchen alive. My herbs, my starter, oh my goodness. But this is so nice for cooking soups. It heats up really fast and really evenly. I have a rosemary garlic recipe, bread recipe, that uses the cast iron stove. I make this recipe probably once or twice a week. I love it, and no sourdough needed. So you don't need to worry about starter. But I've used this cast iron for so many different things, but that bread is one of my favorite things that I've been able to use this with. Let me share the recipe with you. I will have the recipe linked down below, but you will need 3 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, and then you're just gonna add 2 teaspoons of salt. You guys, one of my favorite things about this recipe is that you don't have to knead it. You just put everything in the same bowl and mix it together. It could not be more simple. You're then gonna need 1 dry packet of quick yeast. This equals about 2.5 teaspoons. Then you're going to add 1 1/3 cups of warm water. So you are going to activate your yeast, but it's all mixed up together and it works out perfectly. Then you're going to add about 2 to 3 teaspoons of garlic, depending on how you like it. And then this is where I have loved having my own herbs. You're just going to take a fresh sprig of rosemary and cut it up. It smells amazing, and add it to the bowl. Mix everything together. This is not gonna look pretty. It's not gonna be super smooth, but that is completely fine. I have, again, made this recipe so many times and it always comes out beautifully. So just give this a quick mix. Then you are going to cover it with a damp towel and let it rise for an hour. You are going to preheat your oven to 450 degrees and heat up your cast iron stove in the oven while you are letting everything rise. After an hour, turn out your dough, and you're not going to knead it at any point, which is amazing. You are going to shape it though. So I have a little bit of flour on parchment paper, and I'm just kind of pulling everything to the center to just shape it into a nice little ball. Then you are going to do a couple of slits. You can decorate this however you want. I like to keep things simple, but you're actually just going to leave this on the parchment paper and pop it back into a bowl for a second proof. The second proof is actually pretty quick. It's only 20 minutes, but I like to cover it once again with a damp towel, and I leave my bread to rise on the warm stove. It just really helps everything move along more quickly. After 20 minutes, you are actually just going to transfer the bread dough with the parchment paper into the cast iron skillet or the cast iron oven and put the lid on top. The steam, there's actually steam that kind of gets trapped in here, and it helps with the crust. It makes the outside really crunchy, which is one of the things I love about this. And then after about 30 minutes in the oven, you're going to put it in without the lid for about 7 minutes just to golden everything up. This is how it turns out. It is the most delicious, chewy on the inside, crunchy on the outside loaf, and like I said, I make it a couple times a week. It's one of our favorites. Let's talk about spring makeup, spring beauty. So I love a little bit more full coverage foundation throughout the fall and the winter. In fact, I've been using the Revlon Color Stay for so many years. It is my trusty, tried and true, but I like something a little bit lighter going into the spring. Instead of going out and buying a whole new foundation, I just mix my regular daily moisturizer with it. This turns it into just a lighter version of the color that I'm wearing anyway, and it's more of a tinted moisturizer depending on how much lotion you add. This is such a efficient way to just use up whatever product you're already working on. And my this is another favorite. My face lotion is by The Ordinary, which is a brand at Ulta I recently discovered. I like this one because it is very simple. There are no fragrances. So I've been using, this is my second bottle. So I love this for mixing, but I also love it on its own. Let's talk about lips, my favorite topic when it comes to makeup. The color that I get asked about the most. If I wear this in a video, I get asked the most, what color is it? It is the Maybelline. This is Speak Your Mind, and it's one of their Super Stay crayons. It's just a stunning berry, and I adore berry especially in the spring. It's just really pretty. You can pop a gloss over it if you want to wear it on its own. It's not too drying, which is one of the complaints I usually have with things that aren't cream. This is a little bit more matte. It's a long wear, but man, the color is so pretty, and I've bought those for years. So it's just a really, really good choice. If you're wanting something a little bit lighter and a little bit more sheer, this is the Essence Caring Tint Lip Balm. This has pink grapefruit in it, and this is just a sweet little, again, berry shade, and it's just called Caring Tint. I guess that is the color? I don't know. You just have to get this kind of fuchsia looking packaging, and it will give you this little wash of berry. I actually like to wear this over my lipsticks as well. It just adds a little something. If you're interested in more videos on simplified living and a clutter-free home, go ahead and click the playlist here. I will see you over there. Bye.